My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Steve Jobs. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But if you know me, you know I do not like biopics. They're just too samey for my taste. They just feel like the same story being told over and over again, and they're typically not my type of movie. Now, there are definitely exceptions, like I love The Social Network, I loved Better Man, Elvis, Oppenheimer, and I like Steve Jobs. This movie actually is an exception, and I do think it's quite good. So let's begin by talking about the cast. And Michael Fassbender gives one of the best performances of his career here. He's just so great. He carries this movie incredibly well, and he just fully becomes this guy. And I thought every line delivery of his was pitch perfect, and I was really impressed. Then we've got Kate Winslet, who I find to be unrecognizable in this movie, and I thought she brought plenty to her character as well. Seth Rogen, I thought, did a very good job despite his minimal screen time. Jeff Daniels is also quite good here. Catherine Waterston does a pretty good job as well. Michael Stuhlbarg is good. And then we've got Mackenzie Moss, Whitley Sorbo, and Paula Haney-Jardine, who plays Steve Jobs' daughter at different points. And I thought all three gave great performances. So the cast really does stand out here. They carry this movie so incredibly well, and I do think it's a well-directed movie by Danny Boyle. It does have its own unique style to it, and I do think the movie is well shot, it's well edited, and I like what the score by Daniel Pemberton brings to this movie. And what allows this biopic to stand out is that it doesn't feel like a biopic. It's just focusing on this guy at three different major events in his life, and he has conversations with the same group of people at each event, and it's just about this character and his relationship with those around him. And I think it's just a very fascinating character study. And the script by Aaron Sorkin is just so good. I love how character focused this movie is, and the dialogue is just perfection. There are so many great lines here, and it just doesn't stop. The movie can also be quite funny at times, and there was a couple slightly emotional scenes I found. But I do think the movie kind of fumbles in its final 15 minutes. The final conversation with Steve and Scully is way too on the nose, where Scully brings up Steve's adoption, and it just felt like the movie explaining his past and why he is the way that he is, and I just thought this was completely unnecessary. It definitely dragged the movie down a bit, but it's the final scene with Steve and Lisa that really fumbled the movie, I thought. Their final scene is also too on the nose, and the mention of the iPod just felt shoehorned in, And it just felt like a very disingenuous ending, because throughout this entire movie, we see how awful Steve is. We see how terribly he treats those around him. And they try to give him a redemption arc for him and his daughter, and I just didn't buy it. When he's talking about how Lisa actually was named after her, look, I don't know the true story. I don't know the real Steve Jobs, but I didn't buy it in this movie. And I thought the emotions fell flat. So, as much as I love so much of this movie and how great the writing is, and how well directed it is, and how fantastic the cast is, the movie does end on a really weak note where it kind of sours this entire movie for me. It's still good. I like the unique approach to the biopic here, but I wish it stuck the ending. So I'm giving Steve Jobs a 7 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Steve Jobs? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.